Hello, this is Old School Wisdom coming to you today. Today we have a different topic for you. We want to talk about Trump versus Biden and on the category and topic of racism. There have been some controversial comments made by both gentlemen, and we just want to bring them to you in context for you to make up your own ideas about them. All right, so we're going to start with the comments of Donald Trump. As you know, the media is always playing what they call racist comments by Trump, but you never hear any by Biden. So we'll start with Trump. Okay, the dishonest media, they like to call Trump racist. Okay, here's one of the comments he's made. They say he called all Mexicans rapists and murderers. Here's what he actually said. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're sending people that have lots of problems. They're bringing drugs, crime, and they're rapists, and some are good people.
Yeah, well, if I was Mexico, that's what I would do. I mean, why not? Why keep send the good ones, send the bad ones? That only makes sense if that's what they doing. I ain't saying they doing that, but that's what I would do. Get rid of them crazy ones. Open up the jail, throw them all out there, and toss them over the American fence.
Yeah, and actually, that is what Cuba did. Cuba did open up their prison, and they sent those people from their prisons
Yeah, that
over
was
to
a
the
long
USA.
time ago.
Yeah, they did do that. Okay. Another comment that the media like to report about Trump on racism is they say he called neo-Nazis fine people in Charlottesville. And that was about statues being taken down.
Now, why would y'all think Trump would be stupid enough to say that? And in front of the camera on national TV so y'all could throw it on the paper, on the front news of the paper the next morning. That would be stupid.
And he has actually denounced racism in all its forms on several occasions. All you have to do is video or Google it, look it up. Other than Google, you can look it up. But here's the comment he made about that Charlottesville incident. He said, you had some very bad people in that group, but you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very important statue, Robert E. Lee. So Trump was not saying that the neo-Nazis were fine people.
Yeah, the people who were protesting against pulling the statue down were very fine people, and they were on both sides.
And those people were not neo-Nazis, so
Right.
that's what he was saying. So you always have to keep it in context, but the media never does.
Yeah,
They
your
always
fake
take
news,
it out.
make
Fake
little clips,
news.
take out stuff out of context and make it seem like it refers to something else that it really doesn't refer to.
Okay. Biden's racist quotes, okay? Now, his racist quotes and behavior never gets reported by the dishonest fake news. So here we go. 1977, about desegregation, he said, unless we do something, my children are going to grow up in a racial jungle.
Okay.
In 2008, and he was
What's a
campaigning.
racial jungle? Joe, what's a racial jungle? Explain that. Racial jungle, okay?
Just what he said.
Just what it said.
Yeah,
I
what
don't
do you
know.
think? What do you think?
What do you mean by that? What do you mean what? A bunch of white people running around with spears and stuff?
Black people.
Black people running around with spears? Yeah. What jungle is that in?
Okay. 2008 campaign with Obama. He said about Obama, you have the first mainstream African American who's articulate, bright, and clean. There are some inferences there about black people that are not very nice. Okay? You're not articulate, you're not bright, you're not clean.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Obama was articulate, bright, and clean, but he didn't do a doggone thing. He was shined up bright while he wasn't doing nothing, though. You know?
Okay. 2017, at the renaming of a community pool and with a group of black kids, this quote is, I got Harry.
I just thought about this. Yeah, Obama did do something. The best thing he did was wake up black every day. That's what he did. That was real good. He was good at doing that. So put that down as one for one for Obama's side right there. Put that down for him.
Okay. Okay, so in 2017, at the renaming of a community pool and with a group of black kids, Biden said, I got hairy legs that turned blonde in the sun, and the kids would come up and rub my legs and watch hairs rise up again.
Now, something
So I
wrong with that
learned-
statement already, because I wouldn't have no kids rubbing on my legs. What's wrong with them? Get out of here. You know?
Okay. From that, he said, they rub my legs and watch hairs rise up again. So I learned
He is
about
stupid, huh?
roaches. So I learned about roaches. Now, why make that implication about roaches?
Now,
with a
how would
group
he
of black
learn about
people?
roaches from kids rubbing on legs? Something wrong with that thought right there from the beginning. I do think he needs psych evaluation, you know? Just think about it. You know, he learned about roaches from that. You know, what's up?
Yeah, and why is he learning about roaches just with black kids? Okay. And then recently, Biden made this quote. He said, unlike African Americans, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things.
Yeah, they too deep for him. That's what he's trying to say. He can't figure them out. They're too deep for him. But the Negroes, he can figure it out because y'all all in one little block, just waiting to get in line and punch the little Democratic button and keep on going. You know, think about it, people, before you do anything. You know, you've been doing the same thing for decades. That's just stupid.
Okay, you can dare to be different. God made you different. And we are not one monolithic block of people. We don't all think alike. We don't all act alike. And we don't all have to vote the same way. A Democratic ticket. You can be different. Okay.
All right.
There are some racist behavior. Okay, but these things about Biden, you will never hear on the fake news because they will never bring them out. Racist behavior. Okay, here's some things that the media likes to bring out about Trump. Okay, in 1989, with the Central Park Five, who at the time they stated were charged as guilty of violent rape and murder of a young white jogger, Trump said, you better believe that I hate the people who took this girl and raped her brutally. And that was at a time when they were stated to be guilty. They were later exonerated. So, but you make up your own mind about that. You judge it for yourself, that quote and comment about Trump. Okay. Accusations, another accusation about Trump is that his family refused to rent to blacks in the 1970s. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Here's a news flash. Most establishments and hotels in the 1970s refused to rent to blacks. It was a way
Yeah,
of
that
life.
was just every day. I mean,
It was a way of life
So Trump
back
wasn't
then.
anything special about Trump. They trying to make it seem like all white people that had apartments for rent was running down the street chasing after black people trying to get them to rent it. You know, but it wasn't like that. You know, it was just the opposite. Okay, nobody was running behind black people trying to make them rent their stuff except Trump. You know, it wasn't like that at all. You know, so get that straight. You know.
Yeah. It was a pattern. It was a way of life back then. So you be the judge about that as well. Now here we have facts about Biden and his racist behavior. Biden has praised the KKK member Robert Byrd, Grand Dragon or something in the KKK, called him a mentor and a friend 10 years ago. He praised segregationist Senators James Eastland of Mississippi and Herman Talmadge of Georgia, and praised George Wallace, a notorious racist and against integration, in 1975, saying the Democratic Party needed someone who's not afraid to stand up and offend people. Okay? Now, that's not surprising because the whole Democratic Party is the party of racism. We're going to give you some facts about that now. Okay?
Yeah. See, he's just running behind the Democrats without even thinking, just pushing their button, and then walking away, and they not doing anything for you year after year after year. They don't know anything about them. Okay? So here you go.
Okay. Democratic Party, it was the Democratic Party in the South who instituted and employed slavery, while it was the Republicans who fought against slavery, even putting laws in the Constitution to prevent new states from being slave states. Okay? It was the Republicans who fought against it and who fought for abolition of slavery.
Right,
Okay?
right.
After slavery was abolished, they promised us, it was the Republicans who fought to get 40 acres and a mule for the blacks who were slaves in the South. But guess what? Because we never got 40 acres and a mule, it was the Democrats.
No,
who
they actually
decided-
gave us our 40 acres and a mule, and then the Democrats came in and took the 40 acres and a mule back and gave them to the planters. You know, the Negroes had their 40 acres and the mules getting ready to go to work, you know, and they came and took it back. Okay? Get that straight. Don't think it's true. Go look it up, you know.
Okay. And Spike Lee, who has his movie production company, 40 Acres and a Mule, and he's anti-Republican, anti-Trump. But Spike Lee, you need to know, you had your 40 acres and a mule when the Republicans gave it to you, but the Democrats took it back. All right, it was the Democrats who had Jim Crow laws in the South and who attempted to prevent the passing of the Civil Rights Acts passed between the 50s and the 60s. It was more Republicans who voted percentage-wise than Democrats who mostly opposed the Civil Rights Acts. You can look it up, okay? Republicans. Also, all of the first blacks voted in Congress were Republicans. This was after the Civil War and after Reconstruction. You had many blacks, and they were all Republicans, who were voted into the Congress. Our first and second Supreme Court Justice, Thurgood Marshall and Clarence Thomas, they were Republicans. Ida B. Wells, investigative journalist who fought against lynching, was a Republican.
Okay.
Was a Republican. And in the 1970s, it was Richard Nixon, a Republican. I know he was discredited, but he actually led the effort to desegregate schools, not only on paper or in law, but he actually enforced desegregation, and that's how we got integrated schools.
Yep.
But you know, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden's running mate, she herself accused Joe Biden of racism with that busing issue
Yeah,
during
now she
the
in his
debate.
face grinning, the
Okay?
yes puppet of the Democratic Party.
That's right.
Yes, Democratic puppet, you know. That's what she is.
She called out his racism. All right.
Okay,
And
that's
what
enough Democrat. Let's leave them alone. 'Cause that,
Well,
you know, that's
here's the
enough of
final
them,
thing.
You know.
Here's the final thing.
Okay.
All right. The final
I
thing
go
is
all
this.
day fooling with them people.
Here's the final
All right,
thing.
all right.
Most blacks were Republicans until about the 1940s, and that was until the Democratic Party started to offer them free giveaways, like welfare, okay,
Yeah.
and food stamps, okay. Blacks were Republicans.
Yeah,
But the
yeah,
Dems came
yeah.
along and started promising, but never fulfilling those promises to
Yeah.
blacks, all type of free things.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they got welfare. Black people got welfare and made a lifestyle out of it. You know, stayed on it for generations. You know, just made a lifestyle out of it. You know, I don't care if I don't go no further in life. I'm gonna get my food stamps automatic. You know, and get my public housing. You know, just automatic, and I'm gonna stay here forever. You know, that was a lifestyle they created out of that, and that wasn't a good thing, because that's why we don't have any generational wealth going from one generation to the next, because everybody was staying in the
Exactly.
projects forever.
Okay. And that's why we're going to end on this note. Today, the Republican policies of hard work, free enterprise, limited government, pro-life, pro-traditional marriage and values, pro-God, are all better for you, for the country, and every person. So you don't have vote your conscience. Don't be pushed into a mold that I feel like you have to conform because all blacks vote a certain way. Know that Democrats have done absolutely
Yeah.
nothing for black people
Mindless
in their
robots
entire
going and voting, pushing
in their
the button,
entire
and walking
existence.
home. Here's a piece of fried chicken. Thank you for voting for me. Thank you. And then going on home. That's stupid.
Okay. Vote your conscience. God bless. We love you.
Bye.
Take care. Old school wisdom out. Checking out.